What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Eclectic Beard. It's a little bit different of a video. Normally I bring y'all videos and do reactions. This go around though, almost at 80,000 subscribers. I've been doing this for just over 3 years now. And every so often it's nice to look back. So this go around, it's going to be my top 10 favorite reactions I've done so far. Now, I have a feeling this list is going to be a little bit different than what most of y'all are going to think. This might introduce some of y'all to some of my older reactions, I have a feeling. But first we're going to start off with honorable mentions. And the first one on the honorable mentions list would be What Does It Take to Earn a Victoria Cross? It just gave me a newfound respect for what it takes to, number one, the bravery and heroism required to earn that medal. If you see the video itself that I reacted to, now just take me out of it. Just watch that video and just the stories that are told in there. If you don't have a newfound respect for your service members, really you need your head checked, in my opinion. And that video right there just perfectly encapsulates why. Next one on the list, we got Monty Python's Dead Parrot Lumberjack song. That whole, Dead Parrot / Lumberjack, because it's all contained in one. Anyways, just the silliness and hilariousness on that video. This, oh my God, absolutely just, it's too funny. Absolutely too funny. How you can watch it and not laugh if you see that, you don't get a chuckle out of it. Go to the doctor. Make sure your funny bone isn't broken. Because if you watch it, you don't laugh, there's something seriously wrong with you. Just throwing that out there. And then we got the funniest football chants. Now that video showed me as my introduction to the creativity of the football fans over there. Just how some of these things break out and some of the things that are said. I wish we had stuff like that here in the U.S. It's just too funny. Just too funny. I've done quite a few videos at this point. I've done, let's see, 854 videos up to this point. So, yeah, I'm almost at 1,000 videos. So, and I've been at it for almost 3 years now. So, top 10. The number 10 video, and I think this might shock people as well. 2 Ronnies, 4 candles.
Four candles.
4 candles. Here you are. 4 candles.
No, 4 candles.
Well, there you are, 4 candles.
No, 4 candles. Handles for forks.
Oh, God. Now, a lot of folks, this is like that. This is the one that everybody starts off with, but it's not necessarily everybody's favorite 2 Ronnies, because they've got such a wide range of and just absolutely funny stuff. But for me, it was my introduction into, number one, the genius wordplay that they do, but also the genius of Ronnie Baker and Ronnie Corbett. It introduced me to them. And for me, it was memorable just because I remember watching and going, okay, I'm slightly confused at some of this, but once I realized the wordplay that was going on, absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. So that's number 10. Number 9, we got Akala, Fire in the Boot.
I ain't scared of bleeding, I am scared of breathing another breath in this world where everything is so uneven. When millions murdered in the Congo when it's barely news. But if a footballer's wife should buy...
Oh my God. Oh my God. Millions are murdered in the Congo and it's barely news. Yes, because there's so many stories like that where you've got systematic genocide going on that are not covered. And this, just because it was my introduction to Akala. I hadn't really, before that video, I hadn't really looked at any. I think the only video I'd seen from a grime artist before that was Lowkey's Abomination, which just the social consciousness contained within the song. While listening to Akala, you got background on his life story, you got history lesson, and you got social consciousness all wrapped into one. And it was done within a way that makes you, number one, it painted a vivid image in your mind while you're listening. But number two, you also learned if you didn't already know something. And even if you haven't experienced the stuff that he experienced and what he's talking about as far as growing up, the way he takes and actually the way he tells it in the song, almost it feels like it puts you in his shoes to see something from his perspective, which for me it's a rare thing to have stuff like that. It's a rare thing to see stuff like that. So for me, that was like, it was mind-blowing. And I think out of a 15-20 minute fire in the booth, I think I had a 45-minute video off of it. I was blown the hell away. And I sat there and I broke down what I could. Bar breakdowns isn't necessarily, I'm not exactly proficient at it. I've gotten a lot better at it since I've started, but that right there, really, especially, it was hard not to take and sit there and break down a portion of what he had just talked about. So for me, that video right there is really kind of the impetus to really go further into the UK music, especially the grime scene and their artists especially. Number 8, we got Wretch 3-2 and Avelino.
Dependence with the major push is ideal. I'm from T and that's real. I'm done trying to define trill. I should get all of my exes watches cause time heals. I'm with a new thing in the yard on some Netflix and why chill? Why beat around the bush? What, you ain't shaved, baby? Put you on invasion alert. I think I'm JK.
Dude, like, what? Oh, I like this. Oh, wow. Thanks for the recommendation on this one. No kidding. Now, this right here, these two cats, just absolutely magic. Absolutely magic. Their wizardry and wordplay was on full display, and while they had differing styles and differing rhyme schemes at times, the way that it all played into each other, absolutely magnificent. And to take and see that and see two artists, number one, I've never heard of, but number two, just the interplay between the two of them, I absolutely immediately become one of my favorite things I had seen to that point. So, number 7. Now, I don't do this a whole lot anymore. Actually, I rarely do any, in which I might have to change this a little bit. But it was a live stream that I did, and it was an English Frank, his Frankenstein album live stream reaction that I did. And it's just because, number one, English Frank is one of those wordsmiths where he tells a story. Every song takes you on a journey, and it tells a story. And the mental image that's painted, you feel the story, and that takes a certain type of craftsman. I don't care what genre of music that you listen to have that happen. And the fact that I had over 400 people take and roll through the course of that live stream, and I was just barely, I think I was either just under or just at 1,000 subscribers when I took into this live stream. So for me to have that many people roll through because it was somebody that, while I didn't know a whole lot about, I reacted to different things here and there by them. I wasn't really versed in his music. Have that many people roll through showed just number one, the respect that people have for his music, but also number two, just that journey that each song takes you on while you're listening. For me, just one of the more standout things that I've done so far. Karl Pilkington's Diary Part 1. That's what we got at number 6.
How disappointed most of the kids were.
God, it's
a kid
exhausting.
like whistling, they brought out Roger Whittaker.
Yes, because they look at it and they go, can you fix it for me to go into space? No. Can I dance with Bananarama? No problem. That's the ones they pick.
Yeah, so that's why I wouldn't write in, because whatever you ask for, you're always going to get a watered down version.
But if Jim could fix it for you to do anything, what would you have chosen?
There's not many things I wanted as a kid.
One thing. Just one thing. To choose one thing, please.
Not my name is Brett.
I mean,
and for me, stuff that's unintendedly funny, I think that makes it even more funny. And that's kind of what we got with Karl Pilkington's diary. I mean, they read it and just, I think the punctuation of the hilariousness that you're listening to of Karl's musings, it being punctuated by Ricky Gervais' laugh, just absolutely hysterical. Absolutely hysterical. And it's one of the funniest things. It's one of my favorite things I've reacted to thus far. Number 5, I've got Learning English for Ricky Gervais.
A scenario now where you might need milk. Okay. Okay. Hello, Karl.
All right.
Would you like a cup of tea?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yes, please. Strong. What tea bags have you got? that is a question I ask. Because it all depends on the amount of milk. Do you have Thai foo? That means more milk.
Thai foo does not mean more milk.
No, it's a very strong tea bag.
Right.
Twinings, little bit.
This isn't. They don't need to know the details. This isn't a travel guide. This is English for.
Ricky's trying to get. He's like, Karl's trying to get into nuance and everything like that. So now I'm gonna tell you right now. I know there's probably a few who probably would rate this a bit higher, but personally, as much as I enjoyed this, as much as I absolutely loved it, because the interplay between Ricky Gervais and Karl Pilkington, and Karl Pilkington's concern that Chinese people need to take and know what stuff means, and just the hilarity of the, like, with the back crack and sack wax, and the response that Karl get, just a whole setup for this thing, and the hilarity that ensues from it. For me, it's one of my favorite things I've reacted to so far, and it's absolutely it's comedy gold. I'm not sure Karl Pilkington realizes how often he's been unintentionally just absolutely hilarious, but he was on full display here. At number 4, I've got Wiley featuring Devlin. Bring them all, holy grime.
That beats to me when I'm spitting, my arms start swinging. I'm bringing more raw shit than a Beckton works. Smell it and know I can't written. Wrote it, fuck me alright, don't quote it. Focus, look now I'm back and it's hopeless. Comparing me with these seeds, too rare a breed of MC in the flow shifts. More than once a minute, getting off like armor, I come and I kill it, a dagnama.
Dude, these guys are just, their ability in this is just absolutely, they're off the charts, man. This right here is two masters just absolutely tearing up the track. And I was blown away. And it's funny because when I was making the list for this video, I was like, man, the Wiley and Devlin song. And I actually went back and rewatched the reaction to it. And it's probably the third or fourth time I've actually rewatched the video, but probably like only second, or probably about the second time I've rewatched the actual reaction. And it's just, still, you're dumbfounded with, number one, it's just the grit and delivery from these two cats. They're legends, and rightfully so. And just their separate flows, their rhyme scheming, and the ease at which, especially for me, just taking and Devlin sitting there and tearing it up, and it's effortless. And it's the same thing with Wiley. It's just effortless. But this put together onto the song, it's a masterpiece. Absolute masterpiece. And it's one of the few times when I'm doing a reaction, I'm just like, you have to take in times as a reactor stop, because you get so entranced watching something. This is one of those times I hated to take and actually stop the video to take and do any bar breakdowns. Number 3, Chester P, Fire in the Streets.
And the system is breathtaking, it's snatching the breaths, waiting while making the next patron in line to regard Satan divine as the steps taken, because living's just a game that we play with a death staking. It's kind of
living is just a game we play with. Dude, I like, yes, because many people, they try to flirt with and cheat death all the time.
We play with a death staking. It's kind of tricky to walk with the ground quaking beneath your feet, and these were the scenes of the first making. I burst into life fighting with strife and the laws raging, searching for infinity's price and the forsaken. Now look, my first job was survive.
What? Burst into life, taking a fighting through the stress and anger, finding the infinity. What? Fighting through the infinity.
And the forsaken. Now look, my first job was
hold on.
Raging, searching for infinity's price and the forsaken. Now look, my first job was survival beyond the
searching through the infinity's press and the forsaken. What?
red line and trying to make a pound before dying to make the headline. Walking a tightrope into clouds of an open purgatory. Thoughts of suicidal approach are looking scared to approach, cause half these rappers in the making wanna murder me verbally. Coach walking these streets of uncertainty. The flames circle me, doubters will get their fingers burnt and left alone to linger amongst us until the king returns. The great secrets of life are trapped inside of us, blinded by the fact half our lives they try to lie to us. Far from the path of truth, all these leaders are misguided us, and this is why they tell us that Jesus had come and died for us.
Dude, like the lyrical quality of what he's spitting is absolute insanity, man. This cat right here is a complete master at just metaphor imagery. He paints such a mental picture with his metaphors and what he's taking and saying in his songs, that in this Fire in the Street especially, it's just, I'd never heard of Chester P. Somebody made the suggestion, take a look at Chester P. Fire in the Streets. I looked at this and I remember just, it's one of the few times where my ability to take and do any kind of bar breakdown and stuff like that was stressed to the max, just because of the amount and density of metaphors that were in this. But it painted such a mental picture while you're listening that the mastery of the craft that he has is almost bar none. Just one of the best I've ever heard in any form of rap whatsoever. And for me, this is one of those tracks that was like, holy crap, there's some of these cats that I'm really going to have to take and buckle down, and even if it takes 3 or 4 times taking and, you know, going back to hear a bar to make sure I'm getting what's being said, that's sometimes what I'll have to take and do. Just really just killer. Really killer. Number 2, Ghost of Grenfell, Lowkey.
Anthem Carnival on the soul of Kelso Crane. What you think would develop on the strength of those names over 70? Everyday people, no celebrities. We're left here picking up pieces of broken memories. No more to big business, fiddling regulations. Grenfell action group, the most tragic of vindications. From sympathy of a nation to most uncomfortable of issues. Our dearly departed, please know we love you and we miss you.
Calling, still hear them calling. That's no one's calling.
Man, I can see it now. I'd planned on taking and recording 8 or 10 reactions a night and try to get something from my main channel done too, and that's probably out the window, because after this is over with, I'm gonna be looking up and seeing what all I can find on this, because it sounds like another case of government corruption going to fuck the people, and lives being lost does not matter. This song right here, the power and the heaviness within the song, is one of the few things. It's one of the first videos I reacted to where I said everybody should hear this song. And I still stand by that assertion today, because the tragedy that could have been avoided is talked about in the song, and the fact that there's been no justice for the victims. It blows your mind, but the way that it's brought forth, and the passion and the heart and the emotion, if you don't feel something listening to it, you may as well be dead inside, in my opinion. And for me, that's such a memorable moment of me taking and doing reactions that it's hard to take and it's hard for me to dismiss it, because as reactors, there's, you know, you've got first for things, whether it be views, whether it be, you know, subs and stuff like that. But whenever you got first for emotion in a reaction, that sticks with you. And this is one of those times. This was one of those times. And last but not least, at number 1, we've got Lunar C, Fire in the Booth, Part 3.
Raw paper, I'm packing the weed in. Eyes looking smaller than the bags underneath them. You know everything I'm banging out is top notch. Sales through the roof like I'm shotting in a drop top. Perfect. You can keep the zannies and the mumble bars. You rappers think you're killing the game and you fucking are. But behind the scenes you're harmless. You don't make no moves, you just stay in the same position. You're easy targets. I did this for you if you need this hard shit. Right up your alley like graffiti artists. I've been about, you're not a season as this. Tracky in any weather, I don't care what season this is. The jacket's vintage, I don't care what season this is. You still one of my bars, I'm sending you a cease and desist. Spliff burns in my polo loafers. You're begging it, you flow so soulless. I'm Steve Austin, kick you in the balls or flip you off with 2 hands. Only neck 2 cans, I call that stone cold sober. Who's the best compared to me and P are all lame. It's a toss up between us like the start of a basketball game. You're gassed like the world wouldn't know what to do without you. But you're useless like a £20 Gucci voucher. It don't make one bit of sense. My shit's timeless, I don't rap about current events. My left arm smaller than my right, cause I'm a right wanker. One punch man, I have the right hand of Saitama. He's heating up. Damn right, I'm cocky, bro. Greatest lyricist of all time, so I've got to gloat. We're butting.
Do what? Rewind that back some.
But you're useless like a £20 Gucci voucher. It don't make one bit of sense. My shit's timeless, I don't rap about current events. My left arm smaller than my right, cause I'm a right wanker. One punch man, I have the right hand of Saitama. He's hitting.
Oh my god. Well then, apparently at least one of his arms gets a workout.
Damn right, I'm cocky, bro. Greatest lyricist of all time, so I've got to gloat. We're butting heads if you go at me like I'm not the GOAT. Pun intended, you can act like this is unimpressive. It's deep rooted, you're a stick in the mud. You don't get this great by giving a fuck.
Damn, this is deep rooted, you're a stick in the mud. You're just there. You got no roots. Well, he's got roots in the game. I like that.
Heads if you go at me like I'm not the GOAT. Pun intended, you can act like this is unimpressive. It's deep rooted, you're a stick in the mud. You don't get this great by giving a fuck. Can't outdo my moves, this ain't a dance off. Flow harder than a Holly Home hand job. Perfect. Liquor gone right to my head. I walked in, she grabbed my zipper and got right to the head. You walk in, you'll catch her right to the head and land right on your edge. She should have told you I'm not right in the head. He's on fire! He's on fire. Got him sprinting like Agabusi, cause you can die on the set like Brandon Bruce Lee. I'll take anything from bad and bougie to fat and moody. I need a girl that looks like Ali Uchis and fights like Amanda Nunes. Me and Kill Money making classic movies like Stanley Kubrick. I am feel like Alexander Usyk. You'll get beat till you're still and defenseless. You only move bricks cause you're a builder's apprentice. Perfect. Jump in your whip at the traffic lights when it's gone red. Hang you out your car window like a dog's head. Bang your face on every lamppost like a lost pet. Perfect. Was in the heat of the moment, just a hot sec. When I was broke, I was skinny, now I'm eating good. Me and Hash Finger breaking bread and when I'm feeding ducks. You're bad online but you're not backing it though. Don't wanna see me in the flesh like a cancerous mole. If you get carried away, it'll be flat on a stretcher. I'm giving free ass whoopings, I'm an amateur wrestler. Hannibal.
Dude, this dude is just absolutely... Some of the references I'm not getting, but there's a lot of the metaphors and stuff that he's doing to this is just... They hit you, and your brain digests it for a second, you're like, what? And I know, might sound crazy, however, this is one of my favorite things I've ever reacted to. I've listened to this song, this Fire in the Booth, outside of the reaction more times than anything else that I've ever reacted to. I don't care if it's comedy or music or TV show, anything. I've watched it more times than anything else. Just, number one, the humor contained within, the tongue-in-cheek humor. Number two, the metaphors that are just excellent punchlines 9 times out of 10. Harder than a Holly Holmes hand job. I mean, that shit right there, it's fucking gold. It's gold. And, oh my God. His ability on the mic is on full display on this. And it's one of those things that I think the humor with the punchlines and just that butter smooth flow he had on this and the effortless ability with it made it such an enjoyable experience reacting to it. It's one of the things that, number one, has stuck with me. Probably I've watched or listened to them. I think the only thing I've listened to as close to many times I've seen or listened to his Lunar C's Fire in the Booth Part 3. It's probably been Lowkey's Hand on Your Gun, and only because of the truth contained within it and the way it's delivered. Legit, that's it. Music wise, that's probably the only thing that comes close. So there we have it. That's my top 10 favorite things I've reacted to. The most memorable things for me personally as a reactor. Now, some of y'all might have a different top 10 of what y'all's favorite things that I've reacted to is, but for me personally, these are 10 things that some of these might not seem like a whole lot whenever you take and just watch the reaction itself. But for me as a reactor, and just the impression that's left after the reaction itself, and the memory, the fact that I can take and look back and be like, dude, this right here, and it marks a moment in time within my reaction journey. It's what, for me, just the reason why this is my top 10. So that being said, y'all tell me in the comments what y'all think. What's y'all's favorite reactions that I've done? I'd love to know what y'all's top 10 would be. But for me personally, this is my top 10, and I know this is probably half of y'all, or a good portion of y'all are probably gonna be like, dude, what? And there's other videos that I've reacted to that you would take a rank much higher. But for me personally, and marking the journey, and just not only that, how memorable some of the stuff has been for me. In 854 videos, you would think that I might have a stronger list than what I, for some of y'all than what I have. But a lot of this also ties to the fact of I love music, and music is the reason why I got into reacting in the first place. And the grime stuff that I've reacted to, it's the first thing that made me fall in love with the UK before I even started looking at the comedy and the culture, the music, the grime, is what made me fall in love with just, I don't know, something different. And it's those rappers and their different accents while they're rapping. Lunar C doesn't sound like Devlin. Devlin doesn't sound like Stormzy. Stormzy doesn't sound like Chip. All of these cats, and they're different. They're different accents. Is what one of the things that really maybe take a look at the accent videos. And in the accent videos is one of the things that took and led somebody to going, hey, take a look at Al Murray, and just put me on the journey that I'm on now. But the music for me is core of everything I've ever done. And so that's the reason why so much of this is the music. Because that's, for me, that's the impetus of all this. So that's the summation of where everything starts, and probably at some point in time where it's going to not fully go back to, but what I'm bringing back to the channel. And it's something that will always be part of me as a reactor. So y'all be good to each other. Love yourselves. Peace.